Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Sue, your East Oakland advocate. Well, I've been battling RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, and also influenza. And there's just a very, very subtle differences between the two different viruses. The influenza, we all know from the past, because a lot of us may have been getting the flu vaccine for a number of years. And I do have a close relationship with that flu vaccine, as one of my former wives was involved in the industry and the actual flu vaccine that was created right here in the Bay Area, but it was manufactured overseas. So very, very interesting story on that. So I know the industry very well, and having contracted RSV wasn't unexpected, because it is highly, highly contagious, and it's spread through people coughing or sneezing, and that's the primary way that it's transferred to another person. And so much like influenza, cold, the flu, RSV. And then also there was another virus very close to that called valley fever. And so the only difference between valley fever and RSV that I can find is the difference in climate for the different virus to exist or not exist. And so I have been struggling with the RSV since about New Year's Day, maybe a little bit before, but I was highly contagious for a very long time, and you hear it in my voice still, and so that's one of the symptoms. I'm actually going to read some of the symptoms from a website that talks specifically about RSV, and that website is called rsvandme.com. And so it's especially troublesome for seniors like myself that are 60 and over. We're more likely to get it, and those of us like myself who's been through chemo treatment for cancer, we have a suppressed immune system, and so we are even more likely, we are highly likely to get RSV. And RSV right now does not have any vaccine that is approved anywhere in the world, let alone the FDA. And so there's no vaccine for it. But some the symptoms, here are some of the symptoms, and they may vary. But there are some variances with mine, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Number one, fever. Okay, you can have a mild fever to a standard fever, just like with a flu. I didn't have so much the fever part, but I did get chills. I was sweating profusely, but I didn't really have a fever. But I couldn't verify that because I used to have a thermometer, but that got destroyed. I had a persistent cough, and I still have a cough, and sore throat. You can hear the sore throat still. Runny nose. I've been having a runny nose since New Year's Day. A lot of congestion in my chest. Plus, there's a lot of mucus that I've been coughing up also. It says also headaches. I haven't had so much the headaches, but I have had a lot of joint pain. And then tiredness. Tiredness is another RSV symptom, and I have that. But then that also is a symptom for COVID, having a lack of energy and tired and influenza also has a symptom very much like that. And the thing about RSV is that it can last for weeks. And with a person like myself who is immune compromised through chemotherapy, we have to be even more vigilant, because if our upper respiratory system is not able to expel that mucus that builds up from that virus, and it goes and settles in our secondary respiratory system in the lower part of our lungs, it's the same as pneumonia, and so that creates the onset of pneumococcal pneumonia. The good thing for me is that I've had the vaccine shot for to minimize the chance of contracting pneumococcal pneumonia, and so that reduces my chance. And I've had breathing issues, very serious breathing issues, where it kept me up all night, just so that I could keep my body upright, so that I could expel that very, very thick mucus, and blowing my nose, because it was like having a faucet. I couldn't turn it off. So there was a lot of that. And if you go to the website, you'll talk about the different symptoms. And it says you can be contagious for as long as 4 weeks. Well, I'm coming up on the 4th week, and I've minimized my contact with all people, and been very careful about having a mask on, things like that. When I'm out in public, I walk the dog. I make sure that there are very few people, if any people, around. So I'm very careful about that. But the younger folks, it's the infants that have issues because they have developing lungs, and those young infants can die from RSV, as well as the immunocompromised seniors like myself, who have some respiratory issues already. We're immuno suppressed because of cancer treatment, chemotherapy, radiation can cause some issues also. So there's a lot of different things that compromise our respiratory system. And so older person like myself, and in just a matter of days, I'm going to be turning 63. I'm 62 right now, so I'm in that danger zone, and I have to keep on top of my health because of the cancer treatment. Every day for me is a blessing and a gift, and so I try not to squander my time that I've been extended, because I never expected to live this long due to the work that I did in the past. And then when I became homeless and got the news that I had colon rectal cancer, I didn't expect to get treatment. And lo and behold, Alameda County picked up the tab. They treated me, but unfortunately, they put me back on the street. And it's taken this long for me to be able to move forward and start ascending back into housing and getting my life back in order. But I've been battling RSV and influenza. It's kind of interesting. I've been getting the influenza shot annually since 2010. And this was the only year. And I got really busy with my mayoral campaign, and I missed some of my opportunities to get the influenza shot, and then it wasn't available for a little bit, and then when it was available again, I wasn't available. So there were a lot of conflicts of our calendar. But this was, or last year, I normally get it in October, November, and 2022 was the first year that I forgot, or I wasn't able to get my flu shot for the first time since 2010. So getting influenza this year is no surprise, because every year there's some slight variances. So anyway, that brings you up to date on some of the reason why my video's been a little bit slow. But I also want to talk about the reason why I can't move out of Alameda County. I plan on staying in Oakland. I'm looking for housing right here in Oakland right now. I'm still working on my vlog about all of that. I've already posted the first part talking about the first option, which is like a temporary housing with a kitchenette called Embassy or Extended Stay America. Then you have Embassy Suites, Hilton, several other options, but they were very expensive. If you do a 30-day period, you're looking at $4,000 up to about $6,700 every month. And you have to pay, in order to get that discounted rate, you have to pay it on the first of the month, not the second, not the third, on the first. And it's due all in full on the first to avoid the 11% room tax that is tacked on if you pay by the day. So that could be a very devastating cost, and an additional 11% tax taxed onto a daily rate of $120 up to about $187 a day. So that is a substantial amount, and it is not sustainable for a long-term period. And so that's why I'm not on that route. I'm still working with the city and the county right now, and hoping that I can get an extension of time, so to speak, that allows me to watch what happens with our real estate market, watch what happens with the rent. I have seen rent here in Oakland come down, but the qualifications and the things that the hurdles that you have to jump through in order to get to move in ready is astounding. And I'm going to be talking about that here in an upcoming video. But right now I'm a little more concerned with getting off and getting well from RSV. Like you said here, my voice is starting to give out again, so I'm going to end this really quick. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back. Hope you don't get RSV, and this is something that folks, you can't avoid RSV. It is very contagious. Like I said, it's transferred simply by somebody in the area coughing or sneezing. So once again, thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back.